So 2 students come and see me this week wanting to know how to hit drivers straight. But here's the funny thing. They're really good mates, Paul and Bob. And you've got Bob who's slicing his driver all the way to the right, occasionally pulling it miles left. And Paul, completely the opposite. He would be a pusher of the ball to the right and he would snap up the ball to the left. So completely different swings. Now, they don't have huge amounts of time to practice, so they were kind of looking for almost a lazy way to hit drivers straight. And I gave them something unbelievably simple at setup to change, that with Bob particularly, within 4 balls, he'd gone from a big booming slice to wonderfully straight shots. So if you're looking for a kind of a simpler way to hit drivers straight, I really think this is the place to start. Now, before I get into the video, look, if you're new to the channel, it's your first lessons of mine, please consider subscribing. At least videos just like this one every single week to try and help you improve your game. Plus, you never have to remember a thing. I'll always put a free download practice guide in that description box below. So typical, this is exactly what Bob was doing. Big slice, much bigger than what you've probably seen on screen here. Really big slice. Now, it's not going to take long this. They only came for an hour session, had half an hour each. Now, what we did with Bob is we wanted to change this number right here. Swing direction. Look, it's a minus 12.9. He was around about a minus 11. We needed it to become 0. All it basically means is this. His swing circle was heading way across the line of the golf ball. Now, he kind of knew this, so then he tried to artificially try and swing it over here. None of that was working. So, all we did was change this one simple thing. So I see this a lot. What Bob had done is this. In order for us to create this beautiful circle going straight into the back of the golf ball, he needed to make sure that his club face matched his forearms. So what he was doing, unfortunately for him, was his club face was perfectly square. And he's like, well, I'm aiming at the target and I have no idea why I'm slicing it. Well, the problem was his forearms were out of alignment. So you look at my lead forearm here, my trail forearm. If we draw a line on this trail forearm is higher than my lead forearm here. That means that when he came into impact and squared the face up, the circle was heading left of the target. And no amount of trying to get the club out here, if he did try and swing it out this way and get it on line, where's the face? Pointing way to the right, so then he hit it even further right. So all he did every single time, look, was take a swing across the line of the golf ball and slice it every single time. This is what we did. I needed everything lined up. So I got him to point the club towards me, and if you want to do this now, if you slice it, this is just a game changer. Got him to get the club face here, square. Close it by about maybe 11 o'clock. Then grip it. Then what I'm going to do, look at this. I got him to square the face by squaring off those forearms. Now if you look at this, my forearms now are in line and my club's in line. If I hit a shot now, watch the difference. Suddenly now, we start hitting, look, a beautiful straight shot. What do you notice with this number? 2.6. Immediately, his swing circle starts to change in this direction. Why? Well, look, now he's got the face matched up and the forearms are matched up. He feels, and this is what I did, I exaggerated a little bit. I even got his forearms just a little bit, almost aiming in the right direction, just as an exaggeration. But suddenly now, look, his lead shoulder is a bit higher. This lead hand, really important, by the way, because of this, goes a little bit higher. This is a great way of closing the face. And everything now was set up to create a swing circle that heads which direction? More here. Let's compare that now to this. Makes sense, yeah? So getting yourself set up here where the clubs, this is step 1 for him. Getting the club in position where you're gripping it, forearms are completely square to the face. What I did with him to start with, I got him to close it to 11 o'clock, then grip it, then move the forearms in, just to exaggerate a little bit, because I actually wanted him to create a little draw first. And that's kind of what he did. He was well chuffed. But we needed also to change one more thing in the swing, because his old habits were still there, right? So this was the final kind of cherry on the cake. We got him kind of set up here. Now he's in a great position. Without this, none of the next stage will work. We got him in a great position. From here, I needed his body to work correctly. So if you're slicing the golf ball, I guarantee, one, you haven't got step one in place, and then two, you do this in the swing. So I want you to imagine a dot in the middle of my chest and then the middle of my hips here. Nearly every person that slices it, when they get to the golf ball here, this dot is almost certainly ahead of this dot. And when that happens, you come down steeply on it, but look at this, when this dot gets ahead of this dot, you start to swing immediately. Look where? Watch. Left of the target. If I was to get the bottom dot ahead of the top dot, where do I swing now? Can you see how I'm going to swing more on line, or if anything, even more to the right, creating almost a beautiful draw style shape. So I needed to get Bob feeling that this hips here, one, started a bit more forward the setup, but also stayed there through the impact area to help him hit more up on the ball and more what he felt to the right and not down and to the left. But there was a problem. Bob has a very, very bad back. And one of the things he can't do, which a lot of great players can do, is when they finish their swing, this dot here is way ahead of this dot. He can't do that because it'll hurt his back. So we made the best attempt. So we got Bob to not try and finish all the way through here. I got him to make some swings where this hip was just ahead of this as he was coming through impact, even if he had to just stay here. And that was enough. So the way you work on this is really simple. All you do is you take step one and the setup, and then what you do is you make sure, just at the start of your swing, you've got a sense that this hip just is leading the way. Now, as soon as Bob did this, he felt that the lead side of his body here was much higher. This is really important. As this is much higher, he's more likely, look, to end up coming through this way, versus, look, this way. So as he's got his beautiful setup now, I'm going to exaggerate this here, the forearms now, if anything for him, we're almost aiming a little bit right of target, which is absolutely fine. His lead side felt a bit higher. And now as he's swinging through, he's really sensing that this lead hip here is higher than the trail hip. Not here, here. That's going to get him swinging beautifully through the shot and more out to the right. So what we should start to see now is a ball that sets off more to the right of the target, and actually, if anything, creates this beautiful draw style shape. So I didn't hit that brilliantly well, but watch this. Beautiful draw style shape. I probably exaggerated it a bit there to 11.4, but that's what you do to start with. You really push those motions and then you tune them down so you start hitting it much, much straighter. So you can probably already see, even from that shot, if you overdo this, so if you're hooking the golf ball like Paul was, he's basically doing exactly the opposite. So what he's done is his forearms are aiming in this direction and the club face is square, which means if the forearms are aiming in this direction and then we look square off those forearms, where's the face aiming? Left. So we're in a hook position, your club face is close to the path. And that's basically what I've just done there, almost in an exaggerated way. So what did I do with Paul? I simply just reversed it. I simply got him here, rather than this motion, I got him opening up the club face, look, and squaring it now this way. Now suddenly everything's more lined up. So this is how you start to kind of, in a sense, immediately change and get rid of your slice. And like I said, with Bob, we did it in 4 balls, and then we started to kind of really get that lower dot leading the way through the impact area. Anybody can do this. You can take this straight to the golf course. If you have any comments, any questions, leave them in the comments box below. Look, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it with one of your friends. And of course, if you're looking at wanting to maybe improve your irons and want to know how this works with irons, check this video out right here. And of course, if you're new to the channel, press that subscribe button right here, so I can give you videos like this every single week. Free practice plan in the description box below. Have a wonderful golfing week.